It's probably the most classic teenage complaint, right? You slam the door, you look up at the ceiling, you just yell, "I never asked to be born."
We've all been there. It's that ultimate feeling of powerlessness.
Exactly, like life was just forced on you. But the visual source we're looking at today, it just completely turns that on its head.
It really does. It's this text called The Soul's Journey, Why You Chose to Be Born. And for this deep dive, we're going to explore its main argument, which is not only did you ask to be born, you actually pleaded for it.
Which is such a radical idea. I mean, we usually think of conception as this big lottery, you know, genetics, timing, luck.
Right. But this source frames it as something deliberate.
So not accidental at all.
Birth is not accidental. That's the headline. The whole idea is based on this premise that we are eternal souls, that we existed somewhere else first.
A heavenly world, I think it says. So our existence didn't start with a body.
Exactly. You were already a conscious, active being.
Okay, so existing before is one thing, but choosing to come here. I think the part of this text that's really going to get people is the section about parents.
That's the most provocative part of the theory, for sure. It says that souls earnestly request to be born to the specific parents they have.
And
Yeah.
that's a heavy concept. I mean, if you had a great loving family, that's one thing that's easy to swallow.
Sure.
But if you came from a really difficult environment, a toxic home, this source is saying you looked at that and said, yes, please. That's the one I want.
It reframes the entire parent-child relationship. It's not a biological accident anymore. It becomes like a spiritual agreement.
Even a tough childhood wasn't just bad luck. It was a curriculum you chose.
That's the idea. It also suggests this level of eagerness that seems kind of hard to believe, given how hard life can be.
Yeah, does the text say anything about what the mood is like during this whole selection process?
It does, and it uses a really specific analogy. It says the soul in the year before birth is like a child before a school trip.
A school trip.
Yeah.
So, like, anxious, excited.
Both. It uses the phrase exciting anticipation. You know that feeling.
Yeah.
Your bag's packed, you can't sleep, you just want to get on the bus and go.
Right.
That's how it describes the pre-birth state. Not some reluctant duty, but an adventure you were buzzing to start.
But that leads to the really obvious question, doesn't it? If I was so excited and I picked my parents, why don't I remember any of it?
Yeah, the big plot hole.
It feels like we all walked into a movie halfway through.
The source actually accounts for that. It points to the 10 months you spend in the womb.
Okay.
It sees that time not just as, growing a body, but as a mechanism for forgetting and starting anew.
So the womb is like a filter, a reset button.
A necessary one, yeah. The argument is that you can't have the cheat sheet. To really live this life, you have to be born forgetting your past life. You need that clean slate.
Which brings us right back to where we started, to that teenager slamming the door. If this framework is true, then that complaint is just factually wrong.
And the text is very blunt about it. It says, and I'm quoting here, saying, "I never asked to be born" is a complete mistake.
Wow.
If you accept the premise, victimhood is basically impossible. You're not a victim of your life. You're a volunteer.
It completely flips the narrative.
Yeah.
It goes from, why is this happening to me, to
But why did I choose for this to happen?
it demands total ownership of everything. The good, the bad, all of it.
Exactly. It forces you to look at your life as something you not only wanted, but you actively worked to get.
Which leaves us, and you, with a really big question today. If you were that eager to get here, and you pleaded to have this specific life with these specific challenges, what was a lesson you wanted to learn so badly that you're willing to go through all of this to get it?
That is the question.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.